both drunk, probably on something else. And I start to get a little bit apprehensive because I'm pretty much like backed up against the wall. Like there's only one exit and I'm pressed up against this door. And
What's up, everybody? Saturday, breaking news. Another lawsuit is out. But the bad thing about it is this has Kanye West in it. So singer Nikki Heaton accuses Diddy and Ye of attempted assault. Yeah. And she got online and talked about it. Yeah. Here's a clear picture of her. Now, when I saw this, I was watching it, and I was kind of like, is this the proper way to come on and discuss SA and you have this top on? And you clearly could have covered up. Now, don't get me wrong. This doesn't mean that I'm in agreement that whatever she's saying is possibly a lie. No. I'm just saying it kind of looked kind of wild. So now, your boy Kanye, he's on the chopping block too. Now, some would say that this is all planned and, I don't know. I think it's just a lot of these entertainers, they have so much power, so much ego that they think they can do anything. Now, the question that I really have, and I want to ask you guys, because I kept saying this to my wife last night. These guys have really, really big egos. All of them, right? All of them. Diddy, Kanye, Kales, they have huge, huge egos. Now, with that being said, it's like, why doesn't their ego kick in when they're saying, I'm this, I'm that, I got this amount of money, I'm a billionaire, blah, blah, blah. So what makes you lose your ego to spike someone's drink to take advantage of them? Someone please explain to me that. I don't understand it. Now, in case you didn't see her on Instagram or whatever social site she was on and she was speaking, I'm going to play that clip in just a second. Give me a minute. I'm going to play that clip. And we're just going to analyze it together. I want to know what you guys think. You know what I'm saying? But before we do that, we are going to go to the sponsor. And that'll just be really, really quick. And you guys go over to that shop, get you something out of there, and check it out. And I'll be right back with the video. All right. So I'm going to explain to you what she kind of started out saying before I play the video. Now, she started out saying they got invited to the studio by Kanye and her at the time, her manager. And she thought she was coming there to like do work, like because she's an artist. She was an artist as well, and I think she might have been asked by the Amigos to do a record or a few other people, but nonetheless, she came there to work. She said she had on a double XL hoodie, uh, extra large jogging pants, and she wasn't revealing anything or nothing like that. So she got there, and it was like three other guys there, which was the engineer, Kanye's friend or cousin, and one of his people from his label or some executive of Kanye's. So I guess Diddy and Kanye were, they was like, hey, let's have some drinks. And the manager lady told because she doesn't drink. The Nikki Heaton lady doesn't drink, so she really wasn't into that. But the manager told her like, hey, just go ahead and take it, fake it like you actually, drinking, so you don't offend them. So she's like, okay, I'll go ahead and pretend. So anyway, so as she's watching the manager lady, and she's kind of feeling funny about the whole environment. Now, meanwhile, there's about 9 or 10 other women in there as well. And she called them studio hoes. Not me. That's what she called them. So as she realized probably something was wrong with the drink, she was trying to text the manager, which her name is Lauren Pisciata. So she's trying to text her to tell her not to drink the drink, but it was too late. She started sipping the drink. And instantly after she had drunk some, so now she's acting kind of crazy, a tad bit belligerent and all of that. So moving forward, she starts to feel uncomfortable. So at that point, Kanye and Diddy is like, hey, it's hot in here. Why don't you take off your hoodie and this and that. Let us see, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, no, stop it. She's trying to play it off. So as she's trying to text her again, Kanye snatches the phone out of her hand and says, who are you texting? And put the phone on the speaker. So now she's really feeling funny. So now they're grabbing her. So she's looking over, she looks over at the executive. He just turns away and starts texting. She looked at Kanye's cousin or whoever, and he just spent the chair around and started texting. So her biggest thing was, she was in tears. Her biggest thing was the men in there did not try to even help her, and the engineer as well. So now I'm going to play the video, and then we're going to wrap up. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. I appreciate it. Give me one question. Give me 1 second.
Pawing at me. Like, they're both drunk, probably on something else. And I start to get a little bit apprehensive because I'm pretty much like backed up against the wall. Like, there's only one exit, and I'm pressed up against this door. And I'm still not completely terrified yet, but I'm like, you guys stop. Like, stop. And they're getting to the point where they have like ripped my shirt off. And I'm like almost fully exposed at this point. And they're both coming at me. And I'm like, you guys, like, seriously, this isn't funny anymore. And I look to my left where his executive is. Like, we know him pretty well. Like, we've been around him a lot. He's literally 3 feet away from me. Like, if I reached and he reached too, like, we could touch. Like, he's that close. And I look and I'm like, hey, like, I give that look where I'm just like, come on, like, step in. Like, this isn't cool. Like, you're a grown man. Like, you're like 50 years old. I know you have a family. Like, this isn't right. Like, do something. And this is the part that for as long as I live, I will never fucking forget. it isn't actually the aspect of being sexually assaulted. That's not what haunts me. It's this. It's as these two grown men were pawing at me, trying to take my clothes off, I look over to this man asking for help, and I literally mouth the word help. And we lock eyes. And he looks away. I'm like, okay, there's still two more men in the room. And I look to his engineer next, who's sitting right next to him. And I know that he's married, and he just had a little baby girl, and I'm like, okay, he's gonna do something. And I look at him next, and I'm like, okay, like, do something, say something, do anything. And he looks down at his phone and starts texting. And then I was like, oh, fuck. I look at Kanye's cousin next, and I'm like, do something, like fucking do something. And he spins his chair around. And that's when that, like, gut-wrenching fear set in. And I was like, oh, shit. No one's fucking saving me tonight. No one's gonna do anything. No one's gonna do fucking anything. And that's when I was truly fucking scared. At this point, they had ripped my shirt off, and they were trying to get my pants off. And I realized that I was completely alone. And I closed my eyes for a second. And I was like, God help me. What do I do? And as my eyes were closed, this is going to sound weird, because I bet a lot of you are wondering, like, how the fuck did you get out of this situation? My eyes were closed, and I prayed. And I said, God help me, what do I do? And it was like clear as day, I heard this in my head. And it didn't make any sense. I heard, go towards them. And I was like, oh, fucking great. The one time I asked God for help, Satan answers, because why the fuck would I go towards these two predators who are sexually assaulting me? Like, why would I do that? And then all of a sudden it clicked. My back was up against the glass wall. I could not go any further back. That was the only exit. He said, go towards them. They were already drunk off their shit. They were fucked up. So I lunged forward. I stepped forward. And it, like, threw them off balance. Like, they were like, oh, and, like, they stepped back at least 1.5 feet. And the moment that they did, I reached behind my back. I pulled the door, and I slipped out, grabbing my clothes. And I ran across the hall, across this corridor, and I hid inside of an empty studio that was black. And I sat there for, like, 20, 25 minutes, just, like, crying, like, what the fuck do I do? And I'm texting my manager, and she's not answering. And eventually, I don't think I'm supposed to say this next part because it could hurt her case, but basically, everything she fucking said is true, basically. Because what I saw next, I fucking saw it. I was the only one who wasn't drugged. I was the only one who didn't drink their drinks, whatever it is. I was the only one. So I saw what happened next and who was involved. And that's why I'm a part of this lawsuit and, like, named in it. And yeah, it just, I got us both out, and I got us in an Uber, and she obviously didn't remember anything because she was drugged, and I wasn't. And apart from the aspect of, looking for help and they turned away, the only other thing that really, really fucks with me is, what about all those other girls that were there?
Hey, Dre. Hello?
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Oh, I hear you now.
Hey, how are you? You good?
I'm good. How you doing?
Wonderful, wonderful. Can't complain. So what do you think about this? Her coming out and speaking her piece, and now Kanye's in the mix. I mean, what's your take?
Yeah, I want to believe her because, like she says, she lives on a farm. She has nothing to lose. She's not asking for anything. She just left the industry because it was like, things like this that was going on and she just couldn't deal with.
Yeah, I mean, I believe her. I believe her.
Yeah.
But the problem that I got with this, and I was saying this earlier, why do they have such a big ego in front of people and the arrogance and all of this? But why don't they have that same ego when they're about to spike somebody's drink and actually assault them? Shouldn't their ego be telling them, man, I'm too big to put something in your drink to have sex with you? Everybody wants to have sex with me. That's what I would think if my ego was that big. But what brings them to Harlem? You tell me.
Because that too is an ego. Them feeling they could do whatever. Like, I don't understand. These guys were sitting in the studio and these guys just turned their back. So yeah, that's part of their ego because you understand what I'm saying? They're just gonna do whatever and it's gonna be okay with whoever. They just gonna turn their back and let
Right.
them do whatever they want to do.
Right. But it's just kind of lame to me. I mean, okay, you see the arrogance from both of them. Why don't they have the mindset and say, I'm too big to be putting something in your drink for you to sleep with me or me to do whatever. You
But
should
then
want you should want to do it.
it could be their self-esteem as well, because it's been said in several of the lawsuits that these girls have filed that Diddy is very small.
Oh. Oh, okay.
So Kanye can be the same way, and that may be the only way that they can get somebody.
Well, I think something is wrong with Kanye, and we forgot. I had the picture. We were looking at the picture last night, but I forgot to tell the team to send me over the picture. There's a picture of Kanye West, and I'm gonna put it in the community section. If you guys want to see it, I'm gonna put it in the community section. But he has his hands up. Harlem, do you know his middle finger is like two middle fingers?
Oh, really?
No, real talk. I'm not even BS. Real talk. It's like his middle finger is so much longer than the rest of his fingers. He almost looks like he got an alien hand. Both hands.
Hmm.
On both hands. I am not playing. I'm gonna post it in the community section tonight so y'all can see and then y'all can tell me. But yeah, the music business has fallen. It's a wrap.
Yeah, and remember I said that once they got Diddy, it was all coming out.
Yeah. And some
Once they got
more.
him, it's all coming out.
Yeah, it's gonna come out with Jay-Z, I believe something. I don't know what. I don't think it's gonna be to this degree, but something's gonna come out about Jay-Z. Then you got Foxy Brown, and she's all involved in the whole Keefe D and Tupac unalivement. I mean, it's out of control.
Because you don't think that the Carters have been very quiet?
Yeah, they've been extremely quiet. They staying out the way because he got them on videotape too. Nobody was excluded from that because they didn't. I'm sure he didn't say, "Guess what, guys? I got cameras in all the rooms around here." So,
Yeah, because she did no promotion of the after that country album came out, one song or whatever. There's been nothing else after that.
nothing, nothing, because she don't even want no attention on her because that's only gonna
No.
fuel somebody trying to pull them into the mix. It's sad, man.
Yeah.
It is very sad.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for coming on. I appreciate you.
Oh, sure, no problem. But
And
it made me think, when you see those people, the one hit wonders,
yeah,
now it makes me wonder, is that the reason why they were a one hit wonder? Because of things that they were expected to do.
I believe so. I believe probably I believe 50%. Yeah, yeah,
That's
yeah. They weren't.
sad.
You know what I'm saying? You gotta say no. And a lot of times, that's when you say no, that's gonna affect your future. You
Yeah,
know what I'm
that's
saying?
sad.
So it's sad, but this damn music business is a trip. But everybody,
Mm.
like, share, and subscribe. I'll be back tomorrow. If not tomorrow, I'll be back on the next weekend. But hey, pay attention. Pay attention. This world is going nuts. So, Harlem, thank you again. And
Thanks, Trey.
we'll talk behind the scenes. All right, everybody. Like, share, subscribe, and I'm out.